Hi everyone. I had a viewer ask me a very thought-provoking question which created a great brainstorm for me, and I came up with some new type ideas, or maybe just a better way of expressing the same ideas regarding ear training, playing by ear, and memorizing. And so I'm going to give you the result of that little brainstorm. It's just a bunch of talking, but I hope it will give you some new insights and a really clear approach on how you can improve this elusive skill. A lot of people feel like playing by ear is just impossible, or memorizing is just impossible. And it's not. It's just a matter of strengthening certain connections between your brain, your fingers, and your ears. So first of all, let me reiterate my philosophy that playing by ear is inseparable from playing by memory. To me, playing by memory is just playing by ear really well, in time, in tune, with no mistakes. When you think of it, that's really all it is. Think of any song, any simple song that you've never played on your instrument, but that you know by heart. You can sing it in your head. And pick up your instrument and attempt to play it on your instrument. If you were really good at playing by ear, you'd have it memorized. You'd be able to play that song on your instrument. So they're very closely parallel skills, and they strengthen each other. So keep that in mind as you're applying the concepts that I'm going to unveil to you today. So this viewer who wrote to me had completed Suzuki Book 3, and then he felt like he was ready to tackle a Scottish fiddle camp. And he went to the Scottish fiddle camp. It was just a 2-day thing, and he was just devastated that he couldn't keep up. He couldn't play any of the songs by ear, and he actually left early. And that was just a bitter pill, and you can imagine I'd feel the same way. So he wrote to me. So the first thing I told him was, well, number one, Scottish fiddle is one of the hardest types of fiddling to play by ear. But then I had to stop myself, because I'm less familiar with Scottish fiddle than I am with Irish fiddle. And so my ear is not as adept at hearing the ornaments and the patterns that occur in Scottish fiddle. It's more of a foreign language than Irish fiddle is. It's just lack of familiarity. So that brought me to the point that in order to be able to play by ear, we have to know the pieces that we're playing by heart. We have to have them internalized. So we have to listen a lot. Very few people can listen to a song for the first time and just play it back perfectly. Of course, there are people out there who probably could do that, but most of us would need to listen to it a bunch of times. We'd need to have a familiarity with the style that we're trying to recreate. So to be successful playing by ear, I'm going to give you 2 things that you need to do, but each of these 2 things is broken down into more steps. So let me give you the 2 things first. First is listen. Listen, and internalize what we want to play. The second thing that you need to do is to increase and improve and strengthen the brain, ear, finger connection. Get them to work together, get them to be quicker at conveying the information. Now let's break those 2 things down. The first thing, I don't have a better word, but the first thing is listen. It goes back to the Suzuki concept of the mother tongue approach, which basically is that no one teaches us how to speak our native language. We absorb it by hearing it all the time. The same goes for playing by ear and learning new songs. You just need to listen to it so much that you just absorb it. You need to sing it. Too many of us don't use our voices. We're shy about it. Sing in private, sing in your car. Exercise the golden pipes. There's a connection to learning and feeling the rising pitch and the falling pitch in our voices. It informs our ear. which then informs our fingers. So in that category of number one, listening, comes the definite necessity of singing, and know it by heart. So be able to, even if you can't hit all the pitches, know that song and be able to keep it in your ear from the first note to the very last note. You should be able to think that song and sing it in your head at the very least, if you're not using your vocal cords. Okay, so that's number one. That was a small category. Number two is bigger. I'm going to give you a lot of ideas on how you can work on improving the connection between your brain, your ears, and your fingers. So let me just go down the list of activities and exercises that you can employ to help strengthen that connection between your brain, your ears, and your fingers. First of all, start thinking in intervals. Now, don't let me scare you. I'm not talking about definitely identifying, oh, it's a minor third leap, or it's a major sixth. I'm not talking about getting that specific yet. Eventually, yes, we do. I'm just talking about very basics. Is it a skip or a step? That will tell you a lot. That'll tell you if it's going to be a neighboring finger or if you have to skip a finger. So first of all, decide, is it a skip or step? If it's a step, is it big or little? That will help you to guess if it's going to stay on the same string or if it's most likely going to go to a different string. And finally, along the category of thinking in intervals, is it going up or down? I have some students get that wrong, and I just have to just kind of scold them. How could you miss that it was going down instead of going up? You weren't focusing enough. So that's an easy thing that we can learn to identify. Is it going up or down? Is it a skip or step? And is it a big skip or a small skip? Okay, so that's thinking in intervals. The next exercise is pitch matching. Fun. It's just fun to do. Have someone, or even if you're by yourself, you can randomly spin your pitch generator to a random note and then find it on your instrument as quickly as you can and in as few tries as you can. So at first, give yourself as many tries as you want. You don't need that extra pressure. But eventually try to say, I'm going to get it in less than 5 tries, and then less than 4 tries, then less than 3 tries, or I'm going to get it in less than 10 seconds, then less than 5 seconds. You see, just kind of make the game rules for yourself. Follow your own rules. So that's pitch matching. The next idea is learning how to spot patterns. We need to be like heat-seeking missiles that are looking for recognizable patterns. A lot of times in songs, in classical, folk, fiddle, doesn't matter. It's built on patterns. Is it a broken third pattern? Is it a scaly pattern? Is it an arpeggiated pattern? Maybe it's a rhythmic pattern. And those patterns will help you to guess the notes, but also those patterns tend to repeat. Melodies are made in snippets, and usually it's a recurring rhythmic snippet or a recurring melodic snippet or both. And that brings me to the next idea, which is learning to hear pitch separately from rhythm at first. If it's really, really difficult for you to do the rhythms and the pitches at the same time, separate them. Just work on hearing the pitches, match those pitches. Enough said there. And then analyze the rhythms and see if you can pantomime with your bow. What is the rhythm? And then, of course, you'll combine the two. And with enough practice, you'll be able to do both simultaneously, except in the most difficult of pieces. The next idea is, of course, practice on easy songs. Don't start to develop this skill on your hardest song that you're working on right now. Start with children's songs, folk songs, church songs. They should be songs that you know by heart. Like I said in category number 1, You should know them by heart. You should be able to play them in your mind from beginning to end. And you could make a list of, I'll give you a list at the end. Well, a short list. It'll be enough to get your juices flowing of easy children's songs that are perfect for this endeavor of improving our playing by ear and our memorization. And you should play every song you can think of. There should be at least 25 in your head. If you really sit down and make a list, there should be 25 songs between church songs, holiday, patriotic songs, folk songs, children's songs. You should have 25. And then play them starting on different notes. First, you'll start on obvious notes that feel like they're going to be easy. Force yourself to pick it out by ear, even with a billion mistakes. Force yourself to get through it by ear. Then change your starting note. By doing that, you're forcing yourself into unusual finger patterns, and you really have to exercise your ears and your mental ability to hold the melody in your head, even though you're making some mistakes. It's really, really going to strengthen those connections. So play at least 25 easy songs and play them in every possible starting note that you can think of. Okay, that you'll be amazed at the results you get from that exercise. The next idea is start to learn your intervals. So before, I didn't want to freak you out by saying start thinking in intervals. When you get a little bit more advanced with playing by ear, we do have to start getting down to the nitty-gritty and learn our intervals. There are apps all over the place and websites that can help you drill your intervals and learn them. And that's huge. If you learn your ascending intervals and descending and you can recognize them, that combined with another thing I'm going to talk about soon, fingerboard geography, is just powerful. You're unstoppable if you know your intervals and if you know fingerboard geography. But before we talk about fingerboard geography, let me just go down my list and say, learn your scales and learn your keys. Know what the sharps are, know what the flats are. Play your scales, whether they're 1 octave or 2 octave or 3 octave. Play them whatever your ability level is. Let that inform your hand as far as finger patterns and where you are in the scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It will just strengthen this whole trifecta of the brain, ear, finger connection that we're trying to achieve. Arpeggios are great. They scare a lot of people. So you can postpone arpeggios for a while if they're not really in your level of playing. But what arpeggios give us is the ability to recognize skips better. And arpeggios are generally built of major thirds, minor thirds, and perfect fourths. And those are so common in melodies, that it's really helpful to know, to have those patterns under our finger and to recognize them by ear. So I'd add arpeggios later when you're able to tackle that. Now, fingerboard geography, what is it? It's basically the logic of our fingerboard and how intervals are laid out on the interval in any position, from any finger to any finger, ascending, descending. So it's just the logic of how intervals occur on our fingerboard. You should drill and just take one interval, take a major second, and explore every possible way of creating a major second on your instrument, from an open string going up, from an open string going down, from a first finger going up, from a first finger going down. Just get geeky with it and try to figure out every possible way to make a major second on your instrument. Then do minor seconds. Then explore minor thirds. Then explore major thirds. And you'll learn that you really have to study how intervals occur when it involves two strings. Like if you're on a first finger and you need to go down a third, you're going to have to go away from the string you're on and go to the next string lower if you're going to reach the interval of a third, because you run out of notes on the string that you were playing your first finger with. So Just dissect, get creative, and explore. Make it a fun moment of discovery. Do this for 3 to 5 minutes a day. Your ear training will explode. Your knowledge of fingerboard geography will explode. And actually, that's it. Those are the ideas. Those are the exercises. They're all very self-explanatory. Utilize the free apps that there are out there. Let me give you a few children's songs that I just jotted down. And if I really had 10 minutes, I could make a list of 50. But so can you. So, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, London Bridges, This Old Man, The Eensy Weensy Spider, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Go Tell Aunt Rhody, like rounds, like I love the mountains, I love the rolling hills. Think of rounds that you learned at children's camps and just go crazy with them. This is a really hot topic, this topic of ear training. People are wanting help on it, and I hope to be able to do a course, a mini course on it soon, but I can't make any promises. So in the meantime, take advantage of my free resources that are here on YouTube. I have a few videos on ear training. Make sure that you join my email list. It's in the video description box below. It's called reddesertviolin.com/email-goodies. And you'll see it clearly, or you can come to my website and find it. Join my email list because that's where I will announce that I have my ear training class completed and ready. Meanwhile, I want to make you aware and give a shout out to my friend Andy Mullen. He is an ear training expert. He has a website and a YouTube channel full of really awesome free material. You'd be lucky to get through all the free material, but he also has paid content as well, which is also awesome. I've purchased it. And his website and his channel are called The Improving Musician. And his name is Andy Mullen. And he's just got really good stuff. I don't want you to have to wait until my mini course is complete for you to get the help that you want and that you need. So use these ideas, use these exercises, explore The Improving Musician, and sign up for my newsletter. And I wish you all the luck in the world. Playing by ear and memorizing is not hard. It's a muscle that we have to exercise, starting with light weights until it gets stronger, and then increasing the weight and the difficulty. You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish and how you can improve. All right, thank you. This was rather long. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next video.